I so I will say a few things about what I feel about taras. Um, I think it's a symbol, um,
Mhm.
and sometimes I question um, for a modern audience like myself, do not grow up with symbolisms like this, and whether it's Blue Lotus or it's very Tibetan style, or whether you call it Indian style, that is not a familiar symbol for me as the modern audience. I wonder, does that create a gap
Mm.
between how the teachers convey the message to the people who resonate with something else as a symbol of, whether you call it abundance or the non-dual abundance, which is, you can call it wisdom or compassion, or
Mm.
something else.
Or shunyata. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And also the colors, and what does exactly color really mean?
Yeah.
What red versus yellow, or some other unnameable colors. Like
Mm.
Michael's picture is a rose. What color would you call that? Um, so I just feel like there's this dissociation
Mm.
between the ultimate teaching that as a Buddhist ultimately want to deliver versus the symbols that we're leveraging.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think I would wager that others on this call also may feel that a little bit as well. Yeah. And I think, the thing with Vajrayana Buddhism is there are so many images and symbols and traditions that express qualities that a lot of us didn't grow up with. I think one of the things that, as somebody who has also been in that place, I didn't grow up with yellow Tara at all. And is that these relative forms basically are bringing us something tangible and solid that can give us a language for that otherwise we may not have had a language for. It doesn't mean we have to now wholeheartedly take on yellow Tara sadhana and visualize her just as she is in the image on Don's square. And I think for audiences that aren't maybe don't resonate with that, I think it's important to generate images in the practice that do. So, for example, as a chaplain in the Harvard medical system years ago, um, rather than trying to have somebody who has a Catholic background practice Green Tara, she may respond more, or he or they might respond more to Mother Mary as the one who comes with just a boundlessly loving heart and with guidance. And so I encourage, all of us, if we practice these things, that it's okay to work with them a little bit, to be able to adapt them to things that resonate with us. This is one of the things that I so appreciate about benefactor meditation that the great John McCransky has developed, is that it's really specific to who are our benefactors, but it doesn't have to be a being or a person. It can be a place, it can be a pet, it can be a garden we visited or a mountain that we climbed once, or it can be an energy. He opens that up so that it's not just Tibetan Buddhist deities. Yeah, these are called yidam. Yidam, and I know when you know this. A yidam is an image upon which we meditate to help point us into that deepest nature that reflects the qualities the image is expressing. Yeah. And the thing that works the best for us is what resonates most for us. So if it's not a blue lotus, but it's Michael's beautiful rose, that and that's somehow that's more it causes us to connect more deeply, then use the rose. Yeah. I once learned this really wonderful practice is meditating on the chakras and clearing them and balancing the energy in the body. And I the practice early on, this was, and we're talking like probably 25 years ago, and the practice was using a white rose. And so the way I learned it was you visualize a white rose in front of your chakra, any number of the chakras in the body, and you just allow that white rose to sort of gently pull out of that chakra anything that's smoky or shadowy or heavy, um, and give yourself permission to relinquish that, right, to the rose. And then the white rose becomes kind of dark and stuff, and then you move it out of your space, you imagine it blowing up, and then you come back to that chakra and you radiate light into that chakra from the inside out. It's pretty powerful. But I wanted to see it when I started practicing Buddhism. I wanted to start using a white lotus. It just seemed like a good idea because that's more Buddhist. So I started adapting the practice, and I swear it didn't work in the same way. No matter what I thought was probably more properly Buddhist, I always had to go back to the white rose, which kind of appeared sometimes as a kala lily. Go figure. They're not, I mean, they're at a distance, they might look similar, but they're very different flowers. So I had my own experience of what that flower looked like, and I just had to go with it. And that's what worked to this day. So I think what we perhaps think should be correct or traditional or proper, the point is it helping you to really encounter those qualities down at the depth of your own, the source of your own mind? Yeah. So I think you're making a really good point. And I think once more, the rationale, and I know you're not asking me to explain this at all, explain myself, but I think that why the figure of yellow Tara might be helpful is that we can anchor the abstract qualities we're talking about into some kind of form that then we can work with, whether we adapt it for ourselves or we work with that form to encounter it within ourselves. And ultimately, we relinquish the form altogether. In fact, a lot of the deity meditations we do are we dissolve the image, whatever it is, whether it's a traditional one or one that we relate to, into white light. We pull that in, and then we become that being. We begin now to radiate it back out. So we become the grace, the generosity, the enrichment that we seek to bring others. Yeah.